This is such an amazing and easy DIY project. All you need is to find your Pussy Willows, and I'll show you how to create the wreath. Welcome to another edition of Natural Crafts. Today we're going to show you how to go out in nature and find Pussy Willows, as well as make your own Pussy Willow Wreath. So as you can see, there are so many varieties of Pussy Willows. February to March are the ideal time, even if there's snow still on the ground. Somehow these Pussy Willows are already blooming. So all you're needing to look for is a nice pond area or a stream that has a lot of sun exposure. I can guarantee you, you're going to find Pussy Willows. So let's get started on our Pussy Willow Wreath. So to make your DIY Pussy Willow Wreath, the only thing that you're going to need is a glue gun, or in some cases you could use wire and just fasten it to your wreath. This is a grapevine wreath, and I also have a connection at the end of this video that shows you how to find grapevines in nature and how to make your own grapevine wreath. So this is really a pretty much free craft that you can do. And the other thing is I like to find the same type of Pussy Willows. I like some long ones, some medium, and then some really short ones because we're going to layer them around the Pussy Willow, around the wreath. The other thing that I do is most Pussy Willows have a little, I like to call it a little tail on the top, and that doesn't have any Pussy Willows growing out of it. So normally I would just clip that off, and then you have pretty much the full branch of Pussy Willows. So let's get started. All we're going to do is, with our grapevine wreath, we're going to take the Pussy Willows, a little bit of glue, and then you're just going to put a little glue on the stem. And depending how wide you want to make your Pussy Willow wreath, you can adjust how far out you put this stem. So I like them to be pretty full. So I just take the Pussy Willow, put a little glue on it, and stick it somewhere within the wreath. Now the first one is really the one that's going to be your guide, because you want all of the other ones to be about the same length, sticking out so that it's a little bit symmetrical. And as you can see, I just stick it on anywhere on the wreath. The nice thing about Pussy Willows is basically as soon as you clip them and you take them out of the water, they start becoming a dried flower. So this wreath will last you for years. Alright, so I've got one last one to complete that first row. And sometimes you might have to trim them a little bit just to make sure that they're the same length. You may have some that are a little longer than others, so I keep my clippers handy just to trim it down. But with this first row, you don't have to be too particular. Just focus about keeping the Pussy Willow branches the same distance apart. So as you can see, once I finish the first row, I'm going to now start on doing my second row. Now with the second row, I usually don't go as long as the first row. I'll make it a little bit shorter so that you're going to see that there's going to be another layer all the way around. So just flip to the size that you want. So I'm trying to clip it so that they're a little smaller. And then just find a spot on that grapevine. And now I'm putting them in between the ones that I already have put on. So again, measure out, that's right. Just glue gun away, and then it's going to sit down. So I'm not going to make you watch again, but I'll start and I'll do the second layer. Okay, so second layer is done. And again, they're a little fragile just because they're stuck on just at the end, so just be careful when you're moving it around. But now we're going to add some of the shorter ones. And even if you have some of the medium-sized ones left over, you can just clip those off. Sometimes there might be a bud right at the end before you clip. You can just pull that off as well. And same process, just keep gluing it on, and then Stick it in. Now I just look for empty spots. So wherever, again, the middle is between two other sticks, I'm just sticking that in there. If you have pussy willows that are curved and you're trying to keep that straight line, rather than lay them on in a curved fashion, I just turn them downward so that they still appear to be a little straight rather than sitting on the side. So that's just a quick little tip. Okay, now we're getting down to putting the smaller pussy willow stems on. Your wreath is getting so full with pussy willows that sometimes where you're going to lay them, you might actually need to glue them to an existing pussy willow. It's all up to whatever your preference is. I like to make them pretty thick. I just feel that they look nicer on a wall, or if you're putting them on the front door, and you've got that kind of nice thick fullness. Okay, so once you come down to kind of the final, you've got most of your wreath done. What I do is, instead of before how we used the stems to glue it on, what I do is I cut right down to the stem. So there's really kind of no stem left, just the pussy willows. And that's how I start getting it to close in at the end, so you are kind of hiding all the stems of the previous ones. And I've already started a little bit of the inner workings. I take one that's pretty full, so I kind of pick those out at the very beginning. So one that's really thick and full. And then all we're going to do is we're going to line it on the inside like this, and then we're just going to glue it. So I'm going to cut the end off. This takes a little bit more glue, but basically you're going to find the edge, glue the front of it, or the top of it, and the bottom, and the middle. And just lay it inside so that it attaches and covers up the grapevine. And there you have it, a gorgeous Pussy Willow Wreath. This is a wonderful thing that you can give as a gift as well. It only takes you about 25-30 minutes once you have your Pussy Willows all set. So don't forget, subscribe to Natural Crafts, and we'll show you how to make some wonderful summer crafts using nature. To make wonderful crafts, or to just have a beautiful vase of Pussy Willows, in February and in March you'll find Pussy Willows pretty much everywhere. So look to the tops of the trees and you'll see these distinctive blooms. They're the first things that bloom in the spring. So when you're out for your nature walk or you're driving along, look to the tops of the trees to find the first blooms of the season. And if you're around a pond or a stream, you can guarantee that they're Pussy Willows. Willow branches are extremely flexible, so all you need to do is just bend them over and take a clip of the Pussy Willows. You might want to bring a bag with you as well, because when you find a great bush, you'll have lots to clip from. And even if you find some branches that haven't quite bloomed yet, as long as you put them in water, once you get them home, they will continue to bloom until they're full. Then just take them out of the water and they become dried flowers and will last for years. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel and check out this fantastic video on how to make your own grapevine wreaths and how to find them in nature. So go on out, enjoy the great outdoors, and make some natural crafts.